just needs the understanding how big is this. Now, Nanoq was discovered back in 1998. 2 meter thick vein, 175 grams per ton. I mean, literally you could bring a digger up there and start digging it up. I mean, they would probably have done that 100 years ago. But it was there. But it's only 300 meters stretch of it. And so what happened next? Goldcorp discovered it. It's very interesting. You can see it from airplane or a helicopter, so it's very visual. But the gold price fall. Bank of England sold all of its gold, or whatever happened, right? Tax boom came. So people paused, right? And now we come back at it after acquiring it from a state-owned company called Nuna Minerals back in 2012. Why? Well, because the whole industry had gone through the washing machine again. But then when we looked at it, you know, the glacier had retreated 1 kilometer or 800 meters further, so we had an 800 meter stretch. And so we started looking at it. So we set then out to say, okay, we need to do geophysics. We need to shoot seismic, or in this case EM, to understand that what we're seeing on surface is that also showing something down deep.
For me, this started in September of 2021, when I first joined Amaroq as a full-time employee. One of the first trips out of Nanoq was to fly over to go and see this Nanoq license that we'd also acquired. And Nanoq was previously explored in the 1990s by Goldcorp, among others. And then it was forgotten. And this is actually quite common, believe it or not, in the mining sector. Small little discoveries are made and then they're forgotten about, and the data is just sort of lost under the dust of things. So we picked up this license, and as soon as I landed on the ground and I saw the geology, I was getting excited. I had one of our other geologists was there, and he was looking at me. He said, "You're excited by this?" I said, "Yes." I said, "Do we think we can get a drill running this year?" We couldn't. It was very late in the season, and since then we've concentrated our efforts, rightly so, on Nanoq and getting Nanoq up and running, increasing its resources and getting it into operation. So now we can actually start turning our attentions to what has always been our end game, is using what we've learned in operating in green, using the experience from Nanoq, and go out there and find whole new assets that are, in theory, potentially a lot bigger than Nanoq.
What is so unique about Nanoq, and what makes us so, or me especially, interested, is that I have never in my career, through geothermal, oil and gas and now mining, discovered something where you marry up surface sample, desktop study, satellite picture, geophysics, and then you drill, and it is like connecting a puzzle card together, and it just fits perfectly, right? And to put it into perspective, why it's interesting is that when we did the geophysics, we saw some layers. Usually when you then drill it, it turns a little bit here or it's different. No, we saw the layers. The drilling then over 6 meters, it intersects those layers exactly where we thought we would intersect, and in a much grander scale. So when it was drilled, it was systematically drilled, and look and behold, it just gave gold and thickness and core all the way through, only down to about 30 to 70 meters. This could go hundreds of kilometers down there. We still have a lot way to go. We still have a lot way to step out.
I think the take home from Nanoq is, one, it's totally new area. So there's been no historical mining here. It's open. At Nanoq, we are talking about something that's already had 350,000 ounces extracted. That will never come back, that's already been sold. So at Nanoq, this is something that's brand new. Every ounce there is in the ground, ready for grabs. Secondly, it sits on the same mineral system, the same gold belt that crosses South Greenland and then reappears in Scandinavia. So we know it's got good gold. It's at surface. Nanoq is also at surface, but it's within a mountain, so it's an underground operation. So if we put that into just simplistic thought, you've got this plateau, gold-bearing veins at surface, up to 180 grams per ton, close to or at surface. We've got what they're called these saddleries, so there's these features that are close to surface that we can, in theory, extract in a sort of a long, linear, open pit scenario. And then you've got repeated units, West 1, West 2, West 3, West 4. We haven't even started looking east, and then there's under the ice. So the growth potential in absolutely every direction.
This is so unique, and what the team has now done is that they have now understood how the flow of this material have come into the crust, where it's settling down, why it has settling down. Everything is pieced together work, and that is so unique. This deposit will continue to give and give in every single hole we will make from now on, because we understand the geometry. I've never been involved in anything like this. And when I got the data in, I was expecting 1 out of 8 hole. I knew there was a fair bit of quartz in there, but then you need to know, does this come in at the right level of mineralization or later, and all of these things that, you know, no one really understands because a geologist it's very hard to understand it. But when your hit ratio and the fact that the trap there is so evident, and we can see it in the geophysics, it's something that you see in good oil fields, right? Where you just see the geophysics, they get the first hole, and then they just use the sewing machine on it, and you build and build and build. And that is so exciting, because this is a new asset underneath our gold business that will continue to give and give and give.
What we now need to know is there's essentially three things we've got to do. One, we've got to infill drill, and what that means is get greater confidence in that central area. So we've got some good understanding of the mineralization. We now need to bring a little bit more detail into it so that we can actually start to generate what's known as a mineral resource estimate. That's your first numbers on the table saying that we understand there is X amount of ounces in the ground. So that's infill drilling. Then we also want to start to expand that central zone. And that is a long strike. So we could just do the same thing as we did this year and extend it further south and try and get as long a length of mineralization as possible. And also at depth, because we know that we've only assessed it to about 70 meters depth. We want to see how far this goes down, because this could be an open pit, but could this be an underground operation underneath that as well? And then thirdly is these parallel zones. We know West 1 exists, so we want to put a drill rig into West 1. West 2, West 3, West 4 are potentially there. So we want to do what we did with West 1 this year, next year. We want to build on those potentials.
Well, I don't think people understand, like in our budgets, 50–60% of our cost in Nanoq is people or something related to people, which is travel. That's a fixed cost. We sent the same plane, 60 people, but it's 110 people. You can leverage off everything that has been set up there so much easier. So when people think, oh, this is going to cost the same as Nanoq, no, it won't. You're leveraging off the same head office, same operation, etc., etc. And that's what we want to do as quickly as possible, to bring more potential production quicker. So that can be done through bulk sample from Nanoq over to Nanoq. Even though I think this will end up being a standalone, but you can still do that during exploration process. And mind you, that will help, because that will help designing your processing plant. It will help designing everything around what you want to achieve. There are some majors in Greenland, of course, but they like two things. They like scale, which we now have, But they also like to know that permits are easily attainable, that you can operate, that you can bring people in and out. Once they have both of these things, then all of a sudden it becomes of interest to them, because if you put yourself in their shoes, they may be operating 10 mines. If you are operating 10 mines, there's enough brain power that goes into operating in 10 mines. So if you're going to take on the 11th mine, you kind of will want to have that as stable as possible and follow the price of a commodity. Fair enough. And that's what we are here for. I do, however, think that the skill set that is being built in Amaroq is of the nature that not many people or the market gives us value for. Like there was us and B2 Gold who built a mine in Arctic last year. I mean, B2 Gold is almost a $10 billion company with operation all around the world. They can live with, which I'm not saying they did, but they can live with something going wrong or something not working perfectly, etc., because they will have cash flow from elsewhere to make it work. We have one asset, we have one set of bank account to make things work. And that skill set and that strength in the team becomes very important for the next opportunity you build. Because we want it in a certain way. We know how you need to train people. We know how you need to operate with the community. And if you don't have that, excuse the language, blood on your teeth, then it's going to be challenging for anyone trying to do anything in that nature.
So I think what I'm really proud about is we've said it for a while, but I think this year has really proved it, is that we are possibly the only group that can conduct an exploration like this in Greenland successfully, on budget, on time. And I'm really proud now that we've, not only this year in Nanoq it's been all the headlines about, and we're all talking about Nanoq, but the work that we did at Black Angel, the work that we continue doing at Nanoq, the work that we did in the far north in Minto, all that in 1 year from an educated, experienced geological team is great, and it's phenomenal.
So what it means to Amaroq is this. Amaroq is tilted to growth. We have all of these interesting growth opportunities. So number one, we've proven it's there, right? And that gives also a better risk-reward exposure to investors. What I mean by that, not everything is surrounded by Nalunaq. Now we have a second and third asset that are there with resources and potential to grow, right? So that is good generally for the portfolio. And that is important because we have one mine that it needs to provide all of the cash flow currently for the rest of the portfolio. In mining companies, you generally want to have 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 mines generating cash flow to support growth, right? So you could say that is our current weak spot. We only have 1 mine, right? So that means we have to have low amount of debt, we have to have enough cash on the balance, and if something happens to the mine. Over time, what we want is to have the right balance. So for us, it moves more assets, say, from growth to stability, which is good, gives more stability in the portfolio. Even though we only have 1 asset right now generating cash flow, Black Angel will be the next one that we have within our means. And then we always need to have enough cash flow to support that growth. That's what we want to do.
We were given the remit to go out there and find the next Nanoq. We've done that. Our remit is now to grow that Nanoq and find the next one, and then the next one, and the next one. We've got the team to do it. We've got the resources to do it, and more importantly, I think we've got the experience that no one else has to do that.